பட்டியலில் உடனடியாய் மாயை சேர்க்கின்றாள். அதனால் ராட்சசர்களும் அசுரர்களும் தானாகவே இவர்கள் உயிரை எடுக்கின்றார். நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உயிரை கொடுத்தாலும் தர்மம் காப்போம் என்று நிற்பவர்க்கு நிலைத்திடும் வீரஸ்வர்க்கமும் கைலாச பதவியும், எக்காரணம் கொண்டும் தர்மம் காக்க மறந்த உத்தமோத்தம ஜனனமான சனாதன ஹிந்து ஜனனம் பெற்ற மக்களுக்கு இல்லை வேறு கதி. சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம மனித ஜனனம் உத்தமோத்தம மனித ஜனனம். உங்கள் உரிமை உலகில் அதிகம், உங்களுக்கு கடமையும் உலகில் பெரிது. தர்மம் காத்தாலே கடமை, தர்மம் காக்காதார்க்கு உயிர் வாழும் உரிமை இல்லை. நன்றாய் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உத்தமோத்தம பிறவியான சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்ம பிறவி எடுத்த எல்லோரும் புரிந்து கொள்ளுங்கள். உங்கள் வாழ்வின் முதற்கடமை தர்மம் காத்தல். தர்மம் காக்க தர்மம் உங்களை காக்கும். சனாதன ஹிந்து தர்மம் காக்க மறந்திட்டால் வாழும் உரிமையை நீங்கள் இழந்து விடுகின்றீர்கள். அதற்கு மேல் வாழ்ந்தென்ன அழிந்தென்ன? பூமிக்கு பாரம் குறையட்டும் என்று அசுரர்களும் ராட்சதர்களும் உங்களை உண்டு தீர்க்கின்றார்கள். அதையும் மாயை கண்டு சும்மாவிருப்பாள். பிரபஞ்ச ரகசியத்தை, பிறவியின் ரகசியத்தை உலகிற்கெல்லாம் உத்தரமாய்ச் சொல்லிவிட்டேன். புரிந்து வாழ்வில் நடந்து உயிரை பத்திரமாய் பார்த்துக் கொள்ளுங்கள். அன்னை சொல்லும் அருள் சத்தியம் இது. ஓம் ஓம் ஓம்.
Yes. Now let us look at the translation of Devi Parashakti's revelation. Listen. Andajam, Yonijam, Jalajam, Bijam, like this in 4 types of births in 84 lakh yonis. In all these births, the most greatest birth of them all is the human birth. Even in that human birth, being born and toiled many times after getting burnt and toiled in politics and finance, in luxuries, in dharma, artha, kama, and those who decide of not wanting this birth, wanting only moksha, only those will have the Hindu Dharma Yonijam, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam of being born to Hindu parents. Human birth is Uttamam, the best, and Sanatana Hindu Dharma human birth is Uttamottamam, the best of the best. Everyone who took this Uttamottamam birth has the responsibility of protecting the enlightenment and Sanatana Dharma. And also they have the right of experiencing its benefits. This right was given to them because of their commitment given by them to this responsibility. And after coming to Bhuloka and forgetting the dharma of protecting Sanatana Dharma, Maya, she is taking away. Understand carefully. I am giving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma Yonijam only for those who gave the commitment of protecting Sanatana Dharma, even by giving their life. And after getting the body, because of painful deluge, not dropping fear and greed, for those who forgot to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, Maya, she will immediately add them all to the list of those who are not worthy of living. Therefore, Rakshasas and Asuras are automatically taking away their life. Understand properly. For those who stand that even by giving their life, they will protect Dharma, will permanently have Veerasvarga and Kailasa Padavi. For any reason, people who forgot to protect Dharma, having Uttamattama birth of Sanatana Hindu birth, there is no other way for them. Sanatana Hindu Dharma birth is Uttamot. Rights in this world are immense, and also your responsibility in this world is large. Protecting Dharma is responsibility. Those who do not protect Dharma, they do not have the right to live. Understand properly, all those who took the Uttamottama birth, which is Sanatana Hindu Dharma birth, all of you understand. The first responsibility of your life is protecting Dharma. If you protect Dharma, Dharma will protect you. If you forget to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, you lose the right of living. After that, what bothers whether you live or get destroyed? Asuras and Rakshasas will eat you, so that the burden on earth is reduced. Seeing that, Maya, she will keep quiet. So Devi Parashakti has revealed that Hindu birth, the being born to Hindu birth, parents is the best of the best births, the Uttamottama birth. And we have been given this birth as because we have committed to take the responsibility to protect Dharma, to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma, and protect this science of living enlightenment. So now let us understand more about the responsibility of Hindus and why we need a Hindu nation. Hinduism represents the world's most ancient yet progressive indigenous spiritual tradition. It is an open framework model of civilization that stands for global peace, vegetarianism, nonviolence, yoga, worship of nature, temple-based living, manifesting spiritual powers, and the inherent divinity of every being. And the Hindu nations were ecosystems where more and more enlightened beings could be produced, so that enlightened civilization could be lit alive and its great gifts shared with the world. So now let's look at some of the references of Hindu nations from our Hindu scriptures. The Hindu nation ruled by Bhagavan Rama, the Rama Rajya, was one of the greatest Hindu nations that we have heard of. And in the Valmiki Ramayana, it's described in Valmiki Ramayana, it describes the Ramarajya. There was no widows to lament, nor there was any danger from wild animals, nor any fear born of diseases. The world was bereft of thieves and robberies. No one felt worthless, nor did old people perform obsequies concerning youngsters. Every creature felt pleased. Everyone was intent on virtue, turning their eyes towards Rama alone. Creatures did not kill one another. And the description continues on. People survived for thousands of years with thousands of their progeny. All in grief, the trees there were bearing flowers and fruit regularly without any injury from pests or insects. The clouds were raining in time, and the wind was delightful. Every caste was performing their own duties, satisfied with their own work and bereft of any greed. People were intent on virtue and lived without telling lies. All the people were endowed with excellent characteristics. All were engaged in virtue. And one of the other famous Hindu kingdoms was the Hastinapur kingdom ruled by Yudhishthira, and it's infamous for its prosperity and wealth and the abundance of every citizen. In the Srimad Mahabharata, it describes Devas granted rains to fulfill all wants. The world became free of all diseases. There was no hunger or thirst anywhere. There was no mental suffering. Those without livelihood were given livelihood, and there was abundance all around. There was no worldly worries left for anyone, and there was no cause for fear either. Happiness on earth was in fact even greater than in the heavens. You can see that our Hindu kingdoms that were ruled by Hindu principles had so much of prosperity and abundance for every citizen from all classes and creeds. And this was because of the Hindu scriptures, our Hindu principles that were used to govern these ecosystems. And the Hindu nation, whether in the fields of enlightenment, health, medicine, technology, aviation, dance and music, clothes and jewelry, social systems, judicial systems, political systems, and legal systems, Hindu nations contributed in every single field and gave breakthroughs in every field. So let us understand now how our Hindu nations were destroyed. Over the course of 1,000 years, we have seen multiple phases of invasion and destruction where we had 56 nations, Hindu nations once, and now we've been reduced to only one, which is Kailasa. Now let us understand the history of the destruction of our Hindu civilization. The first phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization were the Islamic invasions, which happened between 800 and 1700 AD. This was the physical destruction of our Hindu civilization. And Will Durant, a famous historian, has described the Mohammedan conquest of India is probably the bloodiest story in history. The Islamic historians and scholars have just recorded with great glee and pride the slaughters of Hindus and forced conversions, abduction of Hindu women and children to slave markets, and the destruction of temples carried out by the warriors of Islam during 800 to 1700 AD. Millions of Hindus were converted to Islam by sword, and during this period, millions more were raped and murdered and dismembered. The Islamic law prescribed for Hindus, as conveyed by Khilji, has described that Hindus are like mud. If silver is demanded from them, they must, with greatest humility, offer gold. If a Mohammedan desires to spit into a Hindu's mouth, the Hindu should open it wide for that purpose. God created Hindus to be slaves to the Mohammedans, and the Prophet hath ordained that if the Hindus do not accept him, they should be imprisoned, tortured, and finally put to death, and their property confiscated. To keep Hindus in abasement is especially a religious duty because they are the most inveterate enemies of the Prophet. You can see from these descriptions how barbaric this invasion was, how it physically destroyed the Hindu civilization. The next phase of the destruction of the Hindu civilization, and during the Islamic invasions, over 200 million Hindus were slaughtered by the Muslim invaders. Over 100,000 Hindu temples were destroyed, and over 1 million deities and scriptures were destroyed. And it was described that the conquering armies burnt villages, devastated the land, plundered people's wealth, took Brahmins and children and women of all classes captive, flagged them with thongs of rawhide, and carried a moving prison with them and converted the prisoners into obsequious Turks. So you can see just from these numbers how destructive, how barbaric these invasions were. And this saw the physical destruction of the Hindu civilization. The next phase was the psychological destruction of the Hindu civilization, which was the British occupation between 1700 and 1947 AD. This was the economic and psychological destruction of the Hindu civilization. So after being physically assaulted and weakened, the British invaded and destroyed the Hindu population economically and psychologically. Will Durant has described, I have seen a great people starving to death before my eyes, and I'm convinced that this exhaustion and starvation are due not, as their beneficiaries claim, to overpopulation and superstition, but to the most sordid and criminal exploitation of one nation by another in all recorded history. And during the British occupation, the British Empire used all possible means to destroy the Hindu civil and cultural institutions in order to delegitimize and demoralize the indigenous people of India so that they would become slaves in their own homeland. This included discriminatory laws, to instill feelings of inferiority, engineering artificial famines to starve the natives into submission, annexing Hindu kingdoms to undermine the native rule, mistranslating Hindu scriptures to instill anti-Hindu narratives, destroying the indigenous Gurukul education system, which was the backbone of the Hindu civilization, and destroying local importation of British goods and banning Indians from owning any firearms or producing any firearms. And during the British occupation, over $45 trillion was looted from India over the course of 200 years, and over 45 million Hindus were put to death due to artificial famines and imposed poverty by the British policies, and over 680 native kingdoms were usurped by the British Raj. And Shashi Tharoor of the Indian Parliament has described that the British came to one of the richest countries of the world, and over 200 years of exploitation, looting, and destruction have reduced of third world poverty. And the next phase was the secularization of India, which happened after the independence of India, from 1947 till present day. And this has been ruled by brown faces, British attitudes and policies towards Hindus. And Nehru, the first Prime Minister of India, one of the first leaders of the free so-called secular India, has described what a disgusting, savage people we are. Politics, progress, socialism, communism, science, where are they before the black religious savagery? India can never be a Hindu republic. Ambedkar has described, who was the first law minister and principal architect of India, of the Indian Constitution, has described, if Hindu Raj does become a fact, it will no doubt be the greatest calamity for this country. No matter what the Hindus say, Hinduism is a menace to liberty, equality, and fraternity. It is incompatible with democracy. Hindu Raj must be prevented at any cost. And despite India being secular or so-called secular, you can see that this ecosystem was clearly anti-Hindu. The primary rulers, the first rulers, the leaders of the so-called free secular India had completely discriminatory ideas and prejudice against the Hindu population. And the modern Indian legal system, academia, and media all systematically undermine, suppress, and delegitimize Hindu institutions and culture. India's constitution has, and they have done this through various ways. India's constitution has established government control and taxation over Hindu temples, schools, and other institutions, while other religions still remain free from this interference. And Articles 26 through 30 of the Indian Constitution discriminates directly against Hindus by giving special rights and benefits to non-Hindus. And this includes government benefits as well as scholarship and more. And Hindu kingdoms and self-governance has been abolished in the secular India, and anti-superstition laws have been passed to criminalize Hindu practices and rituals. And mainstream Indian academia have described Hindus as sexist, racist, backwards, and oppressors. And these negative media portrayals have been shown in Bollywood as well as TV. And media narratives have been used to stereotype and demoralize Hindus. Bollywood and other mainstream media outlets consistently portray Hindus and Hindu gods and gurus as cartoonish, disrupt, sex fiends, and in a manner similar to the British imperial propaganda. Media narratives are used to shape human consciousness and further political agenda. Racist British colonial stereotypes portraying Hindus as superstitious, backwards, dishonest, corrupt, and are perpetuated by their British brown successors in modern day India, completely unabated. You can see some of the examples of media portrayals of Hindus and Hindu gods. in these photos here. So now we've understood how the Hindu civilization has been destroyed over the course of the past 1,000 years. Now let's understand why we need the revival of Hindu nation. As Devi Parashakti has described, it is our responsibility as born Hindus, practicing Hindus, to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma. That is why we were given this birth of Sanatana Hindu birth. How can we do this? It is only through the revival of Hindu nation. The Supreme Concept of Hinduism has described the vision for the Hindu civilization. During the time of the Mahabharata, Hindus had 56 deshas, 200 states, 1,700 samsthanas, and 10,000 sampradayas. And all 56 we Hindus are persecuted. Now we have lost all of the 56. The last to fall was Nepal. I am the collective voice of all the persecuted Hindus. I will revive and rebuild a Hindu nation built on the Vedagamic principles as a refuge for all practicing and aspiring Hindus, a safe haven for all the persecuted Hindus. And so what is Kailasa? This revival of Kailasa, the Hindu nation, is for reviving this whole life of enlightened civilization and all the great gifts it has to offer to the world, bringing legitimacy to all the offerings Sanatana Hindu Dharma has, and sharing it with the world is the purpose of this Kailasa, the Hindu nation. And Kailasa is the revival of the cosmic constitution. Kailasa is the model nation of how enlightened civilization should be living and administer politics, judiciary, education, economy. Everything will be revived as Paramashiva revealed in the Vedagamas, the Sanatana Hindu Dharma scriptures. Being one of the most persecuted civilizations, Hinduism is on the brink of extinction, such that the next generation may know about Hinduism only through our history books, which is because Hindus have forgotten the responsibility we have taken as we were gifted this Hindu birth. We've forgotten this responsibility as Devi Parashakti has described. So what can we do to stand up for Hinduism now, the Hindu civilization, and all that it has offered to the world? Today, Hinduism is a political orphan. The preservation and restoration of Hinduism's spiritual and cultural heritage is impossible without a national identity. So what can we do to save Hinduism? Let us reclaim our Hindu identity. As Devi Parashakti has described, we were given this birth, this Hindu birth, to protect Sanatana Hindu Dharma and to enjoy all the great gifts it has to offer to the world. We need to understand that Hinduism is responsible for our successful life. If you are a Hindu and you are wealthy, healthy, rich, successful, peaceful, happy, respectable, have a stable family life, and have the best mental setup, you need to understand that Hinduism is responsible. Your Hindu identity is responsible. The Hindu scriptures are responsible. It is the Hindu scriptures which have given us the best mental setup and all the best things we Hindus have. Our Hindu scriptures are responsible for this. And Hindus are among the richest and most successful ethnic communities in the world. Hindu scriptures, Hindu lifestyle, our enlightenment for this. The Hindu thought currents are responsible for this. And in the Hindustan Times, it was reported that Hindus are the most educated religious group in the US, according to Pew study reports. So let us now reclaim our Hindu identity. We need to understand it is not just the anti-Hindu elements being active. It is the responsible Hindus being inactive that is responsible for this whole destruction of Hinduism. As Devi explained, as Devi revealed, we were specifically given this Hindu birth, the Uttamottama birth, because we have taken the responsibility of protecting Sanatana Hindu Dharma. However, we have forgotten this responsibility that we have taken. So let us now take this responsibility again for Hinduism, and let all the Hindus all over the world reclaim our Hindu identity. reclaim the reason that we were given this Uttamottama birth of Sanatu birth. Let us understand now what is the responsibility of Hindus as revealed by Devi Parashakti. It is the responsibility of Hindus to revive this enlightened civilization again and again and give all the gifts of the enlightened civilization to humanity. The revival of the enlightened civilization, this Kailasa, the Hindu nation, is the survival need of humanity. We can move to the next slide, please. So this is an invitation to all the Hindus out there. We are inviting all the Hindus, the born Hindus, the practicing Hindus, those who are sympathetic towards Hinduism, those who are curious about Hinduism, those who want to explore and enjoy Hinduism. Please come and be a part of this revival. You can sign up to become an e-citizen of Kailasa, an e-Kailashan, by visiting kailasa.org and signing up to be an e-citizen. Enjoy all of the benefits that Hinduism has offered to the world and share it with the world and protect all that Hinduism has to offer to the world. You can sign up today to be a part of this whole revival of Kailasa, this revival of the Hindu civilization. So now let us listen to what the Supreme Concept of Hinduism has revealed as the need of the Hindu civilization for humanity, why we need Kailasa. Let us now watch this video.
Contribution. Hinduism, Veda Agamas have great things to contribute to the world. Like the great power manifestation science, the ancient culture and arts, the ancient lifestyle truths, the ancient medical practices and medicinal knowledge, the ancient indigenous cultural heritage and jewelry, perfume, dance, music, in every level, Hinduism has so much to contribute. Veda Agamic traditions have so much to contribute. To share all this with the world, to contribute to the world. Hindus need to tell the world what they are contributing in every level. The brand of Hinduism itself is enriching and empowering and enlightening. Hinduism is all about enlightening the world. Empowering, enlightening, enriching the world. Contributing. That is our spiritual life. That is our spiritual strength. That is our spiritual core principle. O humanity, I request you with folded hands, some one corner of the world, if you just give me few hundred acres, I will keep this whole science alive. Leave it for the whole humanity freely. Fortunately, Paramashiva has given me the power to decode all this Hindu medicinal system, Hindu judiciary system, Hindu social law and order system, Hindu power manifestation system, Hindu mental sciences system, Hindu yogic sciences, the sciences of Hindu biology, Hindu physics, Hindu psychology, Hindu physiology, Hindu chemistry, all this Paramashiva has given me the power to decode whatever the remaining scriptures are available with the humanity. Paramashiva has blessed me, and I have collected, not only I have collected and organized, I can decode. This whole science can be kept alive in any one corner of the world. Just few hundred acres are given for me to live peacefully and exist peacefully. I can store this whole thing alive and contribute it to humanity. Humanity can become better and better and better. I can make the planet Earth so much better place to live. I am here to contribute, and I will continue to contribute. As long as I am allowed to live, I will contribute. I have collected all the remaining available scriptures, maybe 2 crore books. 2 crore means 20 million, I think, books on Hindu physics, Hindu chemistry, Hindu biology, Hindu physiology, Hindu psychology, Hindu law and order, Hindu social system, the power manifestation sciences of Hinduism, yogic sciences of Hinduism. I have collected, and Paramashiva has given me the blessings and power to decode. I have decoded and continuing to decode them. If the humanity, somebody is kind enough to give me few hundred acres in one corner of the world and let me live all the scriptures there and go on sharing with the world, revealing these whole sciences to the world, and go on contributing. I don't need anything other than one cup of curd rice every day. That's all. A cup of curd rice per day over. I can go on be giving this to the world. I can add to the world. I can make the world better place to live. That's all I have to say. Thousands of medicines are described detail in ancient Siddha and Ayurvedic scriptures. Paramashiva has given me the power to decode them, read them, and properly translate and map them to the modern day human language. And I am ready to work 20 hours a day. I just need few hundred acres where I can sit peacefully and keep this library, run a Gurukul where thousands of people can learn this and share it with the world. Understand? I am only interested in contributing. if we can decode all this great knowledge, whole world can prosper from this knowledge. Whole world can enjoy from this knowledge. If I prosper, I will only create a university. I will not create anything else. If the Hindus prosper, they will only create education institutions. Because Hinduism is all about giving, contributing. If I prosper, I'll create university, that's all. Kailasa is all about university to decode the ancient sciences and share with the world. Understand? Every day I am sitting and going on decoding, writing notes on my books and writing details on my books. Whether it is making human beings manifest powers, and I have also now started downloading and decoding the science of making animals manifest powers. Whether making people manifest powers or healing, in every level, life is all about contribution, contribution, contribution.
Yes. Now that we've understood the responsibility of Hindus as explained by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, you can go ahead and sign up to become an e-citizen of Kailasa and fulfill the responsibility that you have taken as a born Hindu, as someone who's practicing Hinduism, and be a part of this revival of this whole Hindu nation, and be a part of Kailasa. So you can visit kailasa.org to sign up today. So with this, we will be concluding this portion of the program. I'll be entering into the next segment where we will be understanding some of the various offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti. As all of us know, Devi has been continuously blessing us and guiding us during this time, during this Kalaya, during this pandemic. And she's been guiding us, revealing, healing us completely from the suffering, and ensuring that we are protected during this time. So if you're just overflowing with gratitude for your cosmic mother, for the happening of Swamiji as Devi Parashakti in your life, you can stay tuned for this next segment and understand some of the various offerings that you can make to Swamiji, to Devi Parashakti.
Nithyananda. Yes, now let's get into the segment where we'll be understanding the various offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti as we get ready to receive her darshan and blessings today. In the Hindu tradition, the offering of the gift to the divine is an expression of pure sacred sentiments. It's an expression of the love, devotion, devotee to the divine as they prepare to receive the darshan of the divine. And the the tradition says that when we visit a temple for the darshan of the divine, when we visit a guru, we never go empty handed. We always take a token of our gratitude, our love and devotion, which we offer at the feet of the divine. And these offerings are not made out of fear or greed. It is a pure expression of love, gratitude, and devotion, the oneness with the divine. And when an avatar lands, the offerings are purely a part of the grand Leela laid out for the purpose of enlightenment. And as we get ready with the traditional offerings for Devi Parashakti, let us contemplate on this beautiful description of the grace and splendor of Devi Parashakti. This Dhyana shloka from the Moola Agam Manonmani Dhyana describes Devi Parashakti. It says, Induni bhaveda karavani nayanam syat pankajavara japaksharasarayuktam angahimabhushana vichitra vasanam syat tungamakutojvala manonmani swarupam. And the translation of this verse, it says, moonlight face, holding Veda books on hand, fire in eyes, with lotus flower, gracing and blessing hands, and one hand with Japamala, beautifully decorated with jeweled ornaments in wonderful clothes and shining crown. Her name is Manonmani. And another verse which describes Devi Parashakti, again from the Moola Agama Manonmani Dhyana. This verse describes ध्यायेत् देवीं त्रिनेत्रां शशिनिभवदनां वेदहस्तां दधानां सव्ये पद्मां वरदमपरे चाभयं चाक्षमालां दिव्यैराभरणैर्विभूषिततनुं ब्रह्मादिभिः पूजितां देवीमेव मनोन्मणिं प्रतिदिनं कामार्थदात्रीं शुभाम्. And the translation for this verse. I meditate on Devi with 3 eyes, glowing like a moon and holding the Veda, lotus, and gracing with blessing and gracing hands. She is wearing beautiful ornaments. She is worshipped by Brahma and other many gods, and showers auspicious boons for all actions every day. And in the Hindu tradition, the divine element of gold is mentioned in all of our scriptures and is used in abundance in all of the offerings for the divine, in the worship of the divine, and in the temples, the decorations, and the many sacred rituals. So let us look at this, the scriptural reference from Atharva Veda, which describes the significance of the divine element of gold. And this verse describes Tredajutam janmanedam hiranyam agnirekam priyatamam babhuva somasyaikyam insitasya parapatata apamekam veda samreta ahutatte hiranyam trividastavai vishe. The translation of this verse: triply born by birth, this is gold. From the atoms of Agni is one. It becomes dearest to Agni. One fell away from the Soma when it was hurt. One they call the seed of virtuous and powerful Apa, the watery molecules. Let that triple gold be for your long life. The gold is a divine element in the Hindu tradition. It purifies anything it touches. It is an element of great spiritual significance and spiritual power, of healing and enlightening. The vibration of gold has the power to infuse sattva energy and positive thought currents in anyone who wears it and in anyone who sees or operates in its vicinity. Gold is present in all the Hindu scriptures, the Agamas, Vedas, Shrutis, Smritis, Itihasas, Puranas. In all the Hindu scriptures, it is abundantly displayed that gold is the most auspicious and purest metal which purifies our being. In the Hindu civilization, everything was built in gold, exchanged in gold. Ritual feasts were offered in gold bricks. When one was to be saved from life-threatening illnesses, gold was offered as a ritual fee. Gold was in abundance and used for weighing equivalent amounts of commodities, including cows. Kingdoms were built with huge doors of gold. The streets would have huge columns and huge archways made of gold. The horses and cows were dressed in gold. and Hindu civilization thrived on the banks of rivers of gold. The Indus River was called Hiranmaya, the river of gold in Rig Veda. The river Saraswati was called Hiranyavartini in Atharva Veda. Gold is the supreme element for offering gifts to the ones you love and revere. Temples are constructed and paved in gold. Deities are made in gold and decked and adorned in gold because it preserves the enlightenment energy for thousands of years and it lasts forever. And the various offerings to Devi Parashakti, the traditional offerings that we can make to Devi Parashakti today on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. So let us now take a look at these various traditional offerings that can be made. And the first offering is the offering of the e-hundi. Just as we have the hundi in any traditional temple, where the devotees can offer any token of gratitude of their choice as they receive the darshan of the divine. So also you have the e-hundi offerings, where you can make any offering in multiple currencies and in any amount that you would wish to offer as you receive the darshan of Devi Parashakti today. So let us see the verses that describes Devi's love for true devotion. This verse says, Bhakti Priya Bhakti Gamya Bhakti Vashya Bhayapaha Shambhavi Sharada Radhya Sharvani Sharmadhaini. The translation of this verse, it says, Devi is fond of true devotion and is realized through true devotion. She can be won over through true devotion and she removes all fear. If there's any fear in the minds of the devotee, Devi is sure to remove that fear. It is stated that Devi likes to be worshipped in autumn. Here it is meant the autumn of our lives, when our thoughts turn more and more inwards. The role of the divine is known and understood clearly, and the need for Devi worship becomes stronger. Shambhavi is the consort of Shambhu, Lord Shiva. Sharadaradhya is the one who is worshipped by Devi Sharada herself, Devi Saraswati. And Sharvani is the wife of Lord Shiva. The Linga Purana says Lord Shiva is called Sharva in his earth form. Sharmadayini is Devi who bestows happiness on devotees. And you can offer your gratitude and devotion to Devi Parashakti by offering your kanika, your token of gratitude in the e-hundi offerings, and receive the grace and blessings of Devi Parashakti in all aspects of your life. So you can make these e-hundi offerings on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas, and you can make this offering in multiple currencies and in any amount of your choice. And the next offering, Parashakti, is the offering of the Sankalpa chanting, the conscious resolution. And in the Devi Mahatmyam, chapter 12, verse 34, it describes that the goddess enchants this universe and she herself gives birth to this universe. That goddess, being prayed without interest in anything, gives that knowledge that leads to salvation and gives wealth in the materialistic sense. And you can make this offering of the conscious resolution, the Sankalpa, and Devi showers her blessings for the fruition of all the desires and wishes of the devotee. So you can make this offering on the website www.kailasamela.com/sevas. The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Sahasranama Swarnakast. And this is the offering of the pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. Devi is described as Nama Parayana Prita, she who likes the repetition of her various names. And this offering of the Sahasranama Swarna Kasu, the pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1,008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. This is a very special and unique archana offered to the Mahameru of Devi Parashakti. And we can make this offering and this can offer any number of coins as you wish to offer. The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Mukta Anguti, the gold finger ring embedded with pearl. And Devi is described as the one who is adorned with pearl. So let us look at this verse which describes Devi's beauty and splendor and how she is adorned with pearls and gems. This verse describes मुक्ताहारलसत्किरीटरुचिरां पूर्णेन्दुवक्त्रप्रभां शिञ्जन्नूपुरकिङ्किणिमणिधरां पद्मप्रभाभासुरां सर्वाभीतफलप्रदां गिरिसुतां वाणीरमासेवितां मीनाक्षीं प्रणतोऽस्मि सन्ततमहं कारुण्यवारां निधिम्. The translation of this verse: I bow to the goddess Meenakshi, whose crown has garlands of pearls, and the face shining like a full moon, who wears anklets that are studded with gemstones and has small bells, who is shining like the splendor of lotus, who grants all the wishes, the daughter of the mount, worshipped by goddesses Vani and Rama. I remain ever bowing to the goddess Meenakshi, the ocean of compassion. And you can make this offering of the pearl finger ring, the gold ring embedded with pearl, and receive the blessings to be showered by the compassion and pure love of Devi Parashakti in all of your business endeavors. So you can make this offering of the Mukta Anguti on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas, and you can make this offering in 3 different sizes. And you can offer the pearl finger ring. It's a gold finger ring embedded with pearl, the Mukta Anguti, to Devi Parashakti. The next offering is the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower. This verse from Kamikagama describes one of the significance of the gold lotus in the worship of the divine. This verse says, अष्टविद्येश्वरोपेत कुम्भावरणसंयुतं सर्वे ससूत्रवस्त्राढ्य हेमपङ्कजभूषिताः सपिधनश्च पक्वबिल्वफलप्रभा स्नपनध्याय संसिद्ध प्रमाणेन समन्विताः. The translation of this verse, it says, all the kalashas should be wound around with suitable thread and covered with new cloth. They should be adorned with a lotus flower made of gold. And there are hundreds of scriptural references in the Hindu tradition for using the lotus in the worship of Paramashiva. Almost everything in the worship of the ultimate involving the consecration of deities of worship, or meditating on the mudras and asanas used during worship, involves the lotus flower, the lotus leaf, the lotus pericarp, the lotus petals. The lotus is a divine flower in the Hindu tradition. The Shakti of Paramashiva is also called as the lotus. The base of the Paramashiva Linga is a lotus. The disciple of Paramashiva is also considered a lotus, one who is about to bloom. You can make this offering of the gold lotus in any of 3 different sizes and be blessed to have the state, space, powers, and being of Devi Parashakti in your inner space amidst any and every adverse situations in life. So you can make this offering of the gold lotus, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Swarna Metti, the gold touring. And this verse from the Saundarya Lahari describes the beautiful lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. It says, Nakadhididit Sanchanna Namajjana Tamo Guna Padadvaya Prabha Jala Parakruta Saroruha. The translation for this verse, it says, You whose brightness from the toenails destroy the of ignorance from the minds of your devotees who prostrated your feet. You whose brightness from your 2 feet overpowers that of the lotus flower too. And you can make this offering of the Swarna Metti, the gold flooring, to Devi Parashakti, to adorn her sacred lotus feet, and to be in constant gratitude for receiving her blessings in even the most difficult aspects of life. So you can make this offering on the website www.com/sevas. The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry. Devi is described as Sudha Sharabhivashini, she who makes the nectar flow in all our nerves from the Sahasrara. That is, she who gives the very pleasant experience of the ultimate. The Swarna Mangtika represents the nectar overflowing from the Sahasrara Chakra, which is fully opened with the sacred sentiment of gratitude. And you can make this offering of the Swarna Mangtika, the gold hairline jewelry, to Devi Parashakti, and of achieving the blissful state of overflowing gratitude and the space of complete completion. And you can make this offering on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. The next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja. And this verse from the Saundarya Lahari, Shloka 83, describes that the toenails of Devi Parashakti have been sharpened by constantly being touched by the crowns of the celestial beings who always prostrate before Devi. And Tamoguna is darkness, and in this stotram, Tamas is indicative of the ignorance in the minds of the devotees. And by constantly prostrating before the Parashakti, their ignorance is removed and they attain the ultimate knowledge. So you can make this offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the most sacred ritualistic offering of gratitude from disciple to Guru. And you can make this offering of the Pratyaksha Pada Puja and be blessed with all the auspiciousness and blessings from Devi Parashakti and from the Nidyavatara of Devi Parashakti, the supreme pontificalism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Shri Nithyananda Paramashivam. So you can make this offering on the website www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. And the next offering to Devi Parashakti is the offering of the Vastra Seva, the offering of the sacred cloth. And this is a traditional offering that is made as a token of gratitude for the constant protection of the divine in our lives. So you can make this offering of the Vastra Seva, the sacred cloth, and Devi always showers and blesses with all the compassion, all the auspiciousness and blessings. And we also have the blessings of the Supreme Mahasanidhan, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam. You can make this offering of the Vastra Seva, the sacred cloth, and you can register for this offering on the website www.kailasamelia.com/sevas. So here you can see a summary of the various traditional offerings that can be made on the website www.kailasamelia.com/sevas. And these are the traditional offerings that can be made to Devi Parashakti today as you get ready to receive her darshan and blessings. So the e-hundi offering can be made in multiple currencies and in any amount of your choice. The Sankalpa chanting, the offering of the conscious resolution, you can sign up for this offering on the website. The Devi Sahasranama Kasu is the offering of the pure gold coin inscribed with one of the 1008 sacred names of Devi Parashakti. And this offering can be made in 3 different denominations and any number of coins as you wish to offer. The Mukta Anguti is the offering of the gold finger ring embedded with pearl, and this offering can be made in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Padma Pushpa is the offering of the gold lotus flower, and this offering can also be made in 3 different sizes. The Swarna Metti is the offering of the gold toe ring to adorn the sacred lotus feet of Devi Parashakti. The Swarna Mangtika is the gold hairline jewelry that represents the overflowing nectar of gratitude from the Sahasrara Chakra. The Pratyaksha Pada Puja is the offering of the sacred ritualistic offering of gratitude from disciple to Guru. And the Vastra Seva is the offering of the sacred cloth to Devi Parashakti. So you can make all these traditional offerings on the website www.kailasamelia.com/sevas. So here you can see the website www.kailasamelia.com/sevas. And as you scroll down, you can make the offerings on the links on step 2. So for the e-hundi offerings, you can click on the link on step 2 for e-hundi. And for the traditional offerings of ornaments or sevas, you can click on the link on step 2 for the traditional offerings. And if you would like to make an intention to make an offering and receive the blessings of Devi Parashakti, to manifest your intention into reality, you can also submit the form on step 1. You can submit the intention form on step 1. And if you've made your traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti and would also like to submit a prayer, a sankalpa for yourself and your family members, you can fill in the form, the sankalpa form on step 3. You can click on the link on step 3 and fill in the details of your sankalpa. And here you have the link to the e-hundi where you can make your e-hundi offerings in multiple currencies: US dollars, Australian dollars, New Zealand dollars, Canadian dollars, euros, Indian rupees, Singaporean dollars, Malaysian ringgits, Great Britain pound, and the Chinese yen. And you can make the offerings in any amount of your choice. And if you'd like to make the traditional offerings of ornaments or sevas, you can visit this page where you can make the offerings of the Devi Sahasranama Swarnakasu, the Sankalpa chanting, the conscious resolution, and you can make the offerings of the pure gold coin, the Mukta Anguti, the Swarna Padma Pushpa, the gold lotus flower, the Swarna Metti, the gold toe ring for Devi Parashakti, the Swarnamangtika, the gold hairline jewelry, the Pratyaksha Pada Puja, the Vastra Seva, and all of the traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti can be made on this website, and the link to the website is www.kailasamailer.com/sevas. So you can make all of the traditional offerings to Devi Parashakti as you get ready to receive her darshan today. And with that, now we'll be moving to the next segment where we'll be learning more about the various facilities being made available for the well-being of humanity, for the care and well-being of humanity during these times of the pandemic. And these facilities are being made available to all of humanity as per the guidance of Supreme Pontificalism, and it is being made available at the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasa. So let us learn more about this care and protection being made available for all of humanity during these times when the human society is in great need of this protection. So let us now move to the next segment where we'll be learning more about these contributions of Kailasas, the de facto spiritual embassies of Kailasas, guided by the Supreme Pontificalism himself.